All right, so the next pattern that we have is the high right side thrust drill. So we've done where we're thrusting what would be essentially into their left side, from your right side to their left side. Now we're looking at the backhand of that, right? And on our angles of attack, this was a 6, now it's a 7 that we're working with, stabbing him underneath the arm with that angle 7. So the way this pattern works, it's also unique in the patterns that we've looked at so far, have always been consistently some defensive move followed immediately by an offensive move, and then a defensive move, offensive move. So the pattern in 6, you always had 3 defensive moves and then 3 offensive moves, and it was one then the next each time. This one breaks that pattern for the nature of how the strikes are, because we're coming off this obscure under the arm stroke. There isn't really a good way to come out of this into a defensive position. So we're following it up with 2 actual attacks. So the way this pattern works, rather than block, strike, block, strike, block, strike, it's going to go block, strike, 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 block, block. Right? That makes this very unique in that regard. But our first move is going to be an inward sweep. Right? So we start with an inward sweep. That puts you on this side to then be able to thrust. Right? As you block their attack, they'll be attacking with like a downward angle 1. We're inward sweeping here, checking, and thrusting underneath his arm is our step 2, right? Following up with that. But then from here, we're going to continue to follow up. He doesn't follow up with another attack. We don't give him a chance to. You'll pull this back and attack with a 4 right after that. Step 3 is a 4 across the waist. Bringing the hand to the right side, which is where I need it to be, to then come down with our angle 1, which was the first attack he started with. So 1 is an inward sweep, 2 is this angle 7 thrust. Pull it back, 3 is an angle 4 across the waist. Angle 4, or move 4, is an angle 1, coming downward diagonal, attacking this way. From this position, don't come down too far, because your next move, step 5, is going to be an outward sweep. So if when you do your angle 1, you let the tip come around behind you, it'll be a big move, and you won't get it there in time. So when you cut this down with angle 1, keep the tip pointing at him, because you're going to come right back with an outward sweep after that angle 1. So step 4 is an angle 1 with an outward sweep is 5. And then from here, we drop stick on the 6, drop it straight down. And then you're right back to 1. 1 inward sweep, 2 is a thrust under the arm, 3 pulls back, cuts across the waist with an outward 4. 4 cutting down with that diagonal, angle 1, and 5 is an outward sweep, and then 6 we do the drop stick, and then come right back to inward sweep. Inward sweep, thrust under the arm, outward 4, angle 1, outward sweep, and then drop stick, and right back to inward sweep, 7, outward 4, angle 1, then outward sweep, drop stick, and then right back again. Right? You want to try the pattern? All right, we'll let Max try our pattern with it. He comes in here. So I'm going to give you the angle 1, so you can start with that first step. Let's do, I'll switch places with you so you can stay on the diagonal this way. Yeah. So I'm giving you the angle 1. Yeah, you start that inward sweep. Then immediately you're thrusting, yeah, right under my arm. That's your actual follow-up. But then you wouldn't stop there. After you stabbed him here, then you would cut him across the waist with that outward 4. You go right from step 3 right into 4 and cut him across the waist. And then step 5, cutting him this side. So your follow-up goes here, here, here. 1, 2, 3, right? So you block 1, and then you thrust 2, you cut across the waist, and then you come down. Yeah, I go 1, 2, 3 that way, right? So again, as it patterns here, when you come out, I'm blocking this. I'm meeting it with that outward sweep. As you cut down, I'm drop sticking. Then you're coming in with the 1, and now we just switched places, right? Now when I thrust, you're doing the outward sweep. Good. When I cut across the waist, you drop stick. Good. And then you're doing the inward sweep, and then you're right back again. Yeah, I'm blocking out here, then drop stick, and then you're hitting here, and the inward sweep, and then you're doing the outward. Yeah, and then when I cut across the waist, good. And then doing angle 1, thrusting under the arm, good. And then you're cutting across the waist, and I drop stick, and you come over here to this side, I inward sweep. When I thrust under the arm, you block out, and then you cut across the waist, you drop stick, good. Bringing us right back to 1, good. Very good. That is the pattern, the 6-step pattern on that. So the trick there is that the 3 attacks, right? Your step 2, 3, and 4 are all attacks. And your 1, 5, and 6 are your defensive positions. That's unique to this pattern, but it's because you're coming off this obscure hit that you maybe could do like an outward wing, but there just weren't a lot of options coming out of this. So we go straight into, and realistically speaking, if you had stuck somebody with this, it would make sense to come back with a cut right after that, and then a finishing blow this way. So just blocking off that 1, 2, 3, and 4 is almost a technique in and of itself, just on the defense of somebody giving you a downward diagonal angle 1.